Scott Carpenter, and welcome to a Sasquatch short on a picture that I took last year while I was hunting. I did a selfie and did several little photos around the deer stand I was in. And you know how Facebook will always send you those reminders, you know, you posted this a year ago, yada yada. Well, that set of pictures popped up, and I just clicked through them real quick. But I noticed on one of them that in one section of the photograph there was this disturbance, this out of focus place that looked weird, and it was you know, it was kind of like, and I didn't really notice it originally, and I thought, well, that's odd. And you know, because it's you know, it's kind of like the, you know, the cloak thing, you know, in the Predator, when you know, when there's a, you know, it kind of distorts the video. So what I noticed was a distortion, and I kind of started looking at it and just kind of going through different filters. I mean, you could tell there was a distortion there, and I thought, well, let's run some filters through it. You know, I already suspected it could be something cloaked, because that's what they look like when they're cloaked. And so I ran different filters. It got real interesting. So here's the original photograph here, and if you look right in here, you can see the distortion. And so I started running it through a bunch of different filters. Now I'm back here behind this tree, and it goes down the hill. That's about 25-30 feet away. It's hard to tell. This distortion is pretty close, somewhere just right behind the tree or right beside the tree, to be honest with you. And so I started running these filters here, and I just kind of overlaid these different filters and trying to bring whatever this distortion is, try to get some detail to it, see if I could see anything. And there's another filter. Now when I did this filter, and this was basically, I added some texture and started really messing with the contrast. I started to get something that looks like a humanoid figure. You got an eye right there, an eye, its nose, and the head, the lower part of the face. There you get a little bit more clarity with that filter. And that's just the cutout. Cutting that area out that looks like a head to me, with two eyes and a nose. And just these two right here, these are photos before and after, just to show you there's no smudge on the lens or anything. So see, there's no smudge on the lens, no smudge on the lens. So again, here are all the different filters. There's a bunch of filters you can kind of see. I just kind of cut that square out, and right there's the distortion. See it right in there. Kind of goes up and around, and what's weird is the center part's see-through. There's no distortion, so it's like a circle, but there's more on top than there is on the bottom. And then just started doing filters, and then this filter here is where I actually started, you know, to getting stuff that something that you could actually see a form. And I just going through the different filters, and then right here we're really getting into. So you can see here that once we start getting into these filters and get a good contrast, you can really start getting some detail out of what is cloaked. And like I said, it's a humanoid looking figure. I can't say for sure it's a Sasquatch, but you can definitely see the eyes and the nose, and of course the head here, and the lower part, a little bit of the lower part of the face. And there I'm just darkening, you can see, kind of trying to bring out some detail, different filters here. You can, it looks like right there you might even be able to get a little nostril detail right there, and a little bit more detail in the eyes. Of course, there's the cutout. Since it's a distortion and it's, it's luminescent, you can see through it. It's really hard to bring out a whole lot of detail, but you can get some, which I thought was really cool and interesting. So is that a cloaked Sasquatch or a cloaked entity or being of some sort? Sure does look like it. It was only in one picture, and I didn't know anything was around me. I didn't have any gut feelings, I don't believe. I don't remember it. And there it is, and it's blowing it up there. Just trying different filters here, different backgrounds, different textures. So anyway, that's the possible cloaked Sasquatch entity or something odd, something weird. It's always something, and that was on that area near Tellico Lake, and that was last November. And just a quick little aside, I was able to do some hunting during the holidays, and though I got pretty much left alone, it was like almost every day something happened. Like one day there were wood knocks, probably 3 sets of them, and I mean they were, no doubt wood knocks, and it sounded like someone had a small baseball bat and was smacking the side of a tree. And then I got, and one day I was about ready to leave, and I got whooped at. There was like 3 or 4 whoops, and then the last day I hunted late I was hunting late in the evening, and the squirrels like went crazy. And when I mean the squirrels couldn't see me, and I was camoed in a blind, but they had been messing around and doing their thing. The squirrels were horrible, as far as just a bunch of them and very loud. And the squirrels, all of a sudden, this one squirrel jumped up. I could see him. He jumped up and he had his back to me, and he was looking. I was on like an end of a point of a knoll, and there was a trail. There was like a little ditch, a large ditch. The deer were going down this ditch line, and there was a T, and I was sitting there in the T on top above the hill, so I could look down. I was about 30 feet above, a really good stand. I was, but to my left and right as they come, I wouldn't be able to see them until they come on around. Well, something, and squirrels will bark at deer and other things, but it was really weird because the squirrel started barking and just losing its mind. And then another squirrel kind of like came down the hill and across, and then it saw whatever it was, and it jumped up on, and it would. So you had 2, and then whatever it was started working its way to my left and to behind me, and it wasn't a deer, because once it come up to my left, I should have been able to see a deer. And I had a 3rd and a 4th squirrel go crazy. I mean, like I said, they were all barking away from me, and usually when that happens, that means a Sasquatch, or something out of the ordinary is close, some sort of quote predator or something large. And it was just really odd because whatever it was close to me, but still out of sight. But they just really lost their minds. So just thought I'd give you a little short there. This cloak figure here was really something. I don't know, once you blow him up there, you can really see Guys, I don't know. I don't think that's an ear. I just think that's foliage behind because he's, you know, it's a distortion. You can see through it. But you can definitely see the shape, see the eyes and the nose right there. Right in there's a mouth. It's pretty obvious. But other than that, it's kind of hard to, like I said, it's kind of round. And like I said, that center piece right there was clear. So there wasn't, the distortion went around it. And then up and around. So I don't know if it was, maybe it was a portal that was opening, or this was just a cloaked being, and it was pretty close, and that would make, I mean, that would make it about 4 or 5 foot tall there. If it was as close, it could have been farther back. It's hard to tell, but based on the tree and how far the tree was, 7 to 8 feet in front of me, that was, you know, so whatever that was, you know, was, could, you know, something could, who knows. I just thought it was interesting, you know, with the history of them cloaking and being able to do things like that. Anytime I see a distortion like that in a still capture, especially a high def when it was 4K on my iPhone, you can definitely, you know, take a second look at it, and there you go. Hope y'all enjoyed that little short, and until next time, y'all take care and be careful out there.